Hi everyone, this video is called Book Searching, an Introduction, and it's book searching in the EBSCO Discovery Service, or EDS, database. That is primarily what I refer to it as, EDS, but you will hear me occasionally say the Everything tab or the Everything database. Please know that I mean the same thing when you hear me say either one of those. So this is what it looks like on the library's homepage. This is a screenshot of the search box, and you can see on the far left everything is in gray and the other tabs are in blue, and that's because everything is already selected, and it's selected as the main thing. It's the default on the library's homepage, and that's because when we say everything, it does have quite a lot in it. It's a bit of a misnomer to say everything because truly not everything is in it, but a lot is in it. Probably the majority of everything in our collection is in this database, including the catalog, which means book searching. So that's why we will be using EDS for book searching and not going to the Books and More tab where you can get into the catalog database. It's an easier interface to use, EDS is, rather than the catalog database, and that's why we're doing it that way. So once you're inside of EDS to search for books, you have the option from the very beginning to select catalog only if you want to search it that way, or you can deselect it and therefore you will search other sources that are not found in the catalog that could be book sources or possibly government documents or something like that. So that's an option for you to make when you're experimenting with your book searching. If you're searching catalog only, if you've selected that one, it means that EDS will provide the same results that you would see if you searched in the catalog directly. It's like you're really searching in the catalog directly. You're just using a different search interface and a different truncation symbol. So you would be using the asterisk versus the $sign. And I have found that students get confused when they have to use more than one truncation symbol. It gets harder for them to keep track of things. So that's why I'm glad to be using EDS for books this semester, because the asterisk is an easier symbol to remember. And besides, most databases use the asterisk anyway. Well, if you do search catalog only, the possible value of searching this way is that you'll have fewer results, if you want that, because it is a smaller database or a smaller section or subset of EDS that you would be searching, but you'll see more variety of format types in the results. You'll see print books, GovDocs, DVDs, CDs, ebooks, microfilm. More of those results, depending on what your search terms are, will come up in a catalog-only search, and it'll be easier to see. They'll be more prominent in the listing of the results. Now, if you search with catalog only not selected, it means that EDS will search not only the catalog, but other book sources that are not available in the catalog. So the possible value of this is that you will have more results if you want that. You will have more online sources available. You will still have catalog-only results because, again, the catalog is a subset of the overall huge EDS database, but it's going to be contained within a larger set of results that appear, so some of the things that were more prominent perhaps in a previous catalog-only search will not necessarily come up in the same order if you have catalog-only not selected. This is the top half of the advanced search screen. This is what it looks like, and you want to make sure that you go to full screen when you're viewing this video so you can see more details. I will zoom in though. And as you can see, we have 3 search boxes, and that somewhat corresponds, as we talked about in previous videos, to the nested search. Each search box stands to be like a set of parentheses, except that you don't type in the parentheses. So you would type your terms in those search boxes. You can see that they are automatically connected to AND. That's because that is the most common way to search. You would have maybe ORed terms in each box connected by and that's, of course, a nested search, isn't it? On the right, where it says select a field optional, that is where you would search in different fields if you wanted to. If you thought that it would be a better search for you, that would be the best way to go. You could search subject or title or abstract or so forth. Down below there in search options, it says choose a discipline to search from. If you wanted to narrow your results, because this, again, is a huge database that will literally come up with millions of results, if you wanted to narrow to a certain discipline or subject area, this might be the better way to go. Alright, this is the bottom half of the advanced search screen. And here's where you could do some limiting before you press search. You know, you would have your search terms in the top boxes. And then if you wanted to make sure that you had full text only or catalog only or scholarly if you were searching for articles, for example, this is where you would do some of that selecting. But I mostly recommend to students that you go ahead and do an initial search with as few limiters as possible so you have a broader net, a wider net that you have cast when you're out there fishing, so to speak. And so you can always limit after the results come in. Okay, and let's look at how we might do some of that limiting. So here we are, and we are limiting search results. What we do have here is a different search than what I've been doing. I like to do relevant experimentation in my searching, so you can see I still have the word children, but it's not truncated, and I decided to go with junk food and television. Now, this has already been pre-selected to search in the catalog only. However, I could have done it differently, and I could have done that search after the fact, but I went and did that particular limit first. And because I limited to just that small portion of EDS, the online catalog, it definitely only gave me one result, so it's a pretty limited search. But it's a good search. It's very obviously relevant to my particular research question. So you can see on the left, current research. You have the results. You could deselect catalog at this point and see if something else came up. In the middle area where it says limit to, if I had deselected, I could have more dates and I could maybe change the publication date around. Also on the bottom you see there's source types on the left, and because we only had one item that came up, that's what's being reflected with that one in the parentheses there, because it's an electronic online book, but it's also a book, so that's why it's reflected there. But if we had something where we had deselected catalog only, we would probably come up with more results, and we'd have other things to experiment with there. So that's what I meant in the previous slide when I said cast a wide net. You do an initial search, see with what you come up with, and then you can limit and then reduce the results and possibly reduce them in a more relevant set of search results. Let's talk about research starters. Research starters are a good way to get background information on your topic. Earlier we discussed that you can find other online reference sources to get background information, but you can also do it in EDS under some circumstances. If you have a somewhat broader search and a search that is rather popular and something that's researched quite a bit, you will often find a thing called research starters in the results. So what you can see here is that I have a broader search, the phrase childhood obesity. It's broad because we haven't pulled in other aspects to it like advertising or other possible culprits involved in the condition. And because it's broad and because it's something that's relevantly current and prominent in a lot of research, it has come up at the top of this set of results here. And I'll go ahead and we'll look at what it looks like. And this is what it looks like when you open up, you click on the link that says Research Starters. Here it is. This is an entry from an encyclopedia dealing with childhood obesity. And it offers me facts and it offers me a lot of information that could be considered background information. And it's yet another way to have a good authoritative source for background information. Let's look at print books versus online books and how they might differ in the search results. On the top, we have a print book result. As you can see, it shows up and it says that it's located on the 4th floor book stacks. It gives you a call number and it says it's inside of Sims Memorial Library. So whenever you see a call number or a location, like what floor it's located on, that is a complete dead giveaway that this is in fact a print book, and it's something that's not going to be accessible in full text unless you come into Sims Library to look for it. And you would find it again on the 4th floor under that particular call number. The one on the bottom, however, is a full text online book. It says ebook, and you can see it says ebook full text, and that also happens to be something of a giveaway, a hint that this is something that you could look at online. Depending on what your research topic is, you may find more print books than online books, or you may find more government documents, and many of the government documents would be applicable and useful, and I do consider them to be good sources of books for our book search. Okay, let's take a quick look at metadata differences and similarities between a catalog record from the library catalog versus the same sort of item in the EDS detailed record. On the left here is a record from a book that is titled Overweight and Obesity in America's Children, Causes, Consequences, Solutions. And as you can see, there's a lot of similar stuff from the left to the right. On the right, however, is the same book, a print book, and this is the catalog record for it. If we were in the other catalog database, this is what we would find. We do see some differences, although it's not a lot. You can see the subject terms are the same, but you'll have something like publication type book, but you won't see something like that showing up in the catalog record on the right. So there is a little bit of differentiation depending on which database you're in, but largely it will be the same. And you would use this to figure out as an initial evaluation tool, but we'll talk about more of that when I'm doing evaluation of print and online books. This is a shot of what it looks like to see the full text of an ebook or an online book in EDS. We've already clicked on the link to go into it. This is the detailed record, and as you can see, there are items on the left where you could click on them. There are links. There's different parts, like say you wanted to look at the toxic environment. You could click on that link there and it would take you to that section of the book, and you can forward through to find that page. This is ProQuest eBrary. This is a different platform, but again, this is another company that's presenting online books to us. It's just a slightly different platform. Both, of course, are searchable, and we will discuss this more in depth when I get to the evaluation of online books. That's a separate video from this one. Okay, these are acceptable book types to do your book assignment for the book week. I will accept online books, I will accept print books, I will accept government documents. A government document will have a book icon in the EDS results, whether you've selected catalog only or not. And the record, another dead giveaway, the record might mention Government Printing Office or GPO. You might see GovDoc listed in the detailed records. You might see the United States or Senate or Congress or committee or subcommittee, all things to hint to you to point out that this is in fact a government document. And again, some of your research results will pull this up because it's the nature of what your research question is about. And again, those are acceptable, and many of them are online in full text, and it's easy for you to do a proper evaluation of them. The thing that is probably the hardest to do for evaluation would be the print books. But I know that many of you are taking this course and are also taking other courses on campus, and so I suggest on a day that when you're on campus, if you have a print book and that's the only book, to do a proper evaluation, you should look at the book in your hands. But we'll talk more about that when we evaluate print books. That's it for now. Talk to you later.